I was thinking of multiple things there. We had seen Brock Purdy make a crazy play rolling out to the left like that earlier in the game.
Yeah.
We have seen Caleb Williams do some incredible things, including the 47-yard piss missile to Colston Loveland in the first half. The entire play as that was unfolding, I'm thinking he's going to throw a touchdown pass. They're going to win this game.
Right.
As he's running around, it's like they're going to win this game. And I was stunned when the pass was short of the mark.
I mean, I as well. First off, I mean, maybe the most fun game to watch of the year, certainly in the running, right? I mean, that was just back and forth, unbelievable, right? What's on the line, everything that was at stake, I think, added to it. You watch Brock Purdy, right, and that offense, which just seemed surgical and kind of did whatever it wanted, and then it was big play, Caleb Williams, and all these unreal plays he made with the receivers and the young group who's trying to learn how to win football games and do stuff like that. But, yeah, I'm with you. I mean, one, I have great faith in the 49ers, right, and their defense and how they compete. But
you picked the Bears.
But, yeah, Caleb Williams is a special playmaker, right, a special playmaker. And sitting there in that moment, I went, oh, man, I mean, his ability to run, and then, of course, we know he's such a magician on the run throwing the football. And even with that, right, I mean, he's going to look at that today, and I know Chris Collinsworth pointed it out later in the game in the little post game. He has Colston Loveland when he kind of first gets out of the pocket. And then even at the very end there, when he throws to number 20, who I'm blanking out on his name, who caught, one of the touchdowns at the end of the game against the Green Bay Packers, either way, he's got him, and it just feels like if Caleb Williams just lofts the ball up in the air instead of throws the ball low like he does, you go, wait, they're going to have another chance there. But didn't give his guy a chance, whatever. The ball comes out funny. Incredible game. And on the edge of your couch, fun to watch. An incredible game.
So much riding on it, too, including the Week 18 schedule. And we need to get there at some point, but I thought it was going to be Seahawks 49ers based on last night's outcome.
Yeah.
Just like last year, last game of the regular season, for the 1 seed between a couple of division rivals, and Sam Darnold going on the road, getting another chance to prove him. So I'm not going to do it Saturday night instead.
Right.
But Ravens-Steelers wraps up the season. We'll be talking later about the Steelers game from yesterday, but that was the headline right after the game ended when they announced the schedule for the end of the season for the final weekend. And I like Ravens, Steelers, and all the storylines, but I like Seahawks, 49ers, too. This goes back to that epiphany we had the day before the classic overtime thriller between the Rams and the Seahawks. Holy crap, the 49ers can be the number 1 seed.
Incredible, right?
They can be the 1 seed, and they've checked 2 of the boxes to get there. They beat the Colts. They beat the Bears. Now all they have to do is beat the Seahawks. Not that that's going to be easy. They're 1.5-point underdogs at home, but that's all they have to do, and they're the 1 seed, and they don't leave home until the Super Bowl.
I mean, it's amazing they're there.
Put the suitcase away.
It's amazing they're there. It's amazing what Shanahan and Robert Saleh has done. Robert Saleh has been the best free agent acquisition maybe in the NFL. He certainly was for the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, here's a case you could make that he could be coordinator of the year with all the injuries and things they've had to deal with. But regardless, what Shanahan has done, especially with not being able to run the ball early, injuries at receiver, Kittle was out for a while. We got to devise the whole offense around McCaffrey and try to run the ball with him. Oh, yeah, and try to throw the ball to him constantly. Brock Purdy's not in there. Most people, if you told them Mac Jones was going to start 7 games, people would go, oh, my gosh, you're kidding me. The 49ers aren't going to be good this year. They go 5-2, and he plays phenomenal and beats some big-time football teams along the way. So with all that, that is amazing what the 49ers are doing. And again, you see they have flaws with their football team. It's on their offense to win the game, period. Their defense is an issue. But I sit here and, with this conversation about home field advantage, and I'd go, I don't know if there's a team that home field advantage is more important to than the San Francisco 49ers because of their defense needs the crowd noise. They need that help a little bit because, as you saw last night and you saw last Monday night against the Colts and Phillip Rivers, they're not very good on that side of the ball, and they certainly are going to have to work on some things there.
And you mentioned Robert Saleh. Look, he was gone for 3 years. That is a lifetime in the NFL.
Yeah.
The 49ers team that he came back to, dramatically different than the 49ers team he left. And this idea that you're just going to rewind the clock and everything's going to work, that was hardly a given. And with all those injuries, it really is amazing that they've kind of recaptured that swagger and they may get Fred Warner back at some point along the lines. They need a pass rush. To your point, if you don't have the pass rush, you need the crowd noise to give the pass rushers you have a little bit of an edge at the snap. You take away that split second where the offensive line has the advantage to get in their pass block set, and you can maybe beat them around the edge. So having him come back, I don't think it's ever a given. It's never automatic that it's going to work the way it did the last time, and it has, and it's worked well. And they're in a great position. They are in an awesome spot. One more win at home, and they stay home as long as they keep winning, and they get the Super Bowl at home. It'll be a major disappointment to that fan base if they don't ride it out. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy.
Not at all.
It wasn't easy last night.
No.
Could have gone either way.
I still sit here and go, I'm amazed they're even in this position. And I don't mean to say that. I mean, I'm not trying to disrespect one of my best friends in the world and anything there. But as I look at them in a lot of times, because everybody sees the brand name, the 49ers. Oh, they're good. Can the 49ers go to the Super Bowl? I have people come up to me, hey, your buddy Shanahan, he looks like he's going to go to the Super Bowl, right? And I go, I don't know about that, right? That's what I say. I don't know. I mean, they're dangerous, and you're certainly not want to face the 49ers in the playoffs with Shanahan and Saleh, to your point, and their ability to game plan and energize the team and lead the team and have the proper approach in a big-time one-and-done type of football game. But at the same time, when some of those people say things to me about the 49ers, I go, who's on their D-line, right? Tell me who's their linebackers? Who's in their secondary? And people,
DeAndre Lemonor.
Right, that's like, right. But, right. And I think that says a lot to what you're talking about with Robert Saleh and a little bit of the state of the NFC, where there was a time, I think 7 or 8 weeks ago, I thought, man, the NFC seems like it has the more complete football teams. I'm not sure I feel that way now. But that's what's amazing, that the 49ers are in this position. Yeah, the schedule helped out. It was one of the easiest in all of football. But still, it wasn't as easy as they all expected it to be. The AFC South ended up being a lot better than everybody expected to. And the way they just find ways to win, and that's where, I know Shanahan probably won't win Coach of the Year, but I would sit here and argue, really, as an innocent bystander, and go, I'm not sure this isn't the best coaching job he's ever done in his career.
If they get the 1 seed.
Right.
I don't know how he's not at least number 2 to Mike Vrabel. That's the tougher call, because the Patriots had won 8 total games in 2 seasons prior to 2025. Vrabel has dramatically and instantly changed that program. Shanahan is a continuation of what he started in 2017, but this is the 1 year where they were ravaged by injuries and it didn't fall apart. We saw it in 2020, the year after their first Super Bowl.
Right.
Injuries fell apart. Last year, the year after their second Super Bowl,
Right.
Injuries fell apart. Now, the one constant this year is Christian McCaffrey.
Yes.
He will be the comeback player of the year, and I think if they're the 1 seed, he needs to get serious MVP consideration. And after last night, how can anyone disagree with him being on the ballot? We go 5 deep on the ballot. He's on the ballot.
You're right about that.
It may be Stafford, McCaffrey,
Right.
1-2 by the time it's all said and done, with maybe Drake May
Don't
in there
piss off
too.
the Patriot fans with Drake May there.
Maybe Drake May too.
After yesterday, I got every Patriot fan in the world yesterday. Are you sure he's not the MVP? Are you sure? Are you sure? But yeah, McCaffrey's incredible. I mean, what's more incredible is like what we talked about a little, or you heard Tirico talk about last night. I mean, he had the 47-yard run in the football game, right? It was clearly, or the 41, it was clearly the longest run of the year. And just what he's doing without being able to rip off 70 or 80-yard touchdowns. It's just run for 5 here, catch a ball, get 8 here, run for 5 again, get another catch for 3, break a tackle, get 10 yards after the catch. I mean, it's amazing his skill set. And that again, that's where it goes into the amazement of Shanahan. First off, Brock Purdy's playing phenomenal, maybe as good as he's ever played in his career. And we're seeing Brock Purdy, like you talked about with the magic play last night. I mean, he's capable of making some plays on his own above and beyond the playbook that are really special. But then also, just on top of that, what Shanahan had to do with Mac Jones and no receivers and no Brandon Ayuk and Ricky Pearsall out and all that, to devise a whole offense just to throw to the running back and act like he's a number 1 slot receiver, like it's Wes Welker in his prime for the Patriots, and make the offense work through that and not really be sexy. We had a lot of games where we're like, man, they're surgical, they're amazing, but it's 6 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards, but it was effective. And to me, that's another area where Shanahan, always a run game master, always a screen game, play action master, his drop back pass game, the last 2 years, to me, has gone to another level with ideas and creativity. And you're seeing Brock Purdy take advantage of that, and they just diced up the Chicago Bears, who really are, it's almost a mirror image of what we would talk about with the San Francisco 49ers. Awesome offense, awesome play caller, but the defense isn't very good, and Shanahan and Brock Purdy just tore up that defense throughout the night.
And that was one of the concerns that existed going into the game. And when we were riding back to the hotel last night, Jason Garrett and I were discussing, and I said, look, someone once said defense wins championships. Do you trust either of these teams to make a stop when a stop must be made? Now, the 49ers made it last night. They bent and they almost broke, and they could have lost that game.
Right.
I think you need a little bit more from the defense of either of these teams for them to be a Super Bowl contender.
I think so, too. I think it would be very hard to get there right now with the way their defenses are playing. And to your point, they got to stop, but we know the clock was an enemy, and they couldn't run really their normal offense, right, because of that. And we could talk about it. There were some procedural issues with the Bears down the stretch, having to call a timeout when the clock was stopped, right, already into that fourth down that they ultimately converted. But that timeout came back to bite them in the butt. And the fact that they didn't have a play and couldn't get out of the huddle there to where at the end of the football game they had to throw the ball every play and do that. But, yeah, that would be my concern, Mike. My concern about the Bears or of course, the San Francisco 49ers is that, they could play a team that has a really good defense and just a blah, blah offense. But against these defenses, you'll go, well, they're going to look pretty damn good because you guys aren't all that good on that side of the ball, right? And that's what I think makes the NFC interesting, and I think we're going to see some high-scoring, fun games in the playoffs that way. But I worry as a whole, yes, about their defenses, both of those teams, and whether they can make a serious run because it's a big issue for them.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.